Ever wonder how some companies seem to grow so big? Is it magic? No, it's franchising. Here's how it works. An entrepreneur builds a business. It does well, so they decide to build more locations. They want to keep growing, but being in charge of a lot of locations is a lot of work and expensive. Maybe I should franchise. Franchising can help my business grow, but not have to build it all on my own. The entrepreneur finds others who like his business and offers them the opportunity to invest in the franchise. The franchise company offers ongoing support, the brand name, training on how the business works, access to proprietary systems and products, development assistance, advertising. The franchisee's responsibility is to make their locations as successful as possible, and they share royalties to offset costs of support and growing the system. That's why franchising is so exciting for those with big ambitions. It helps franchisors build their companies, gets franchisees into business for themselves, and puts lots of people to work in dynamic, growing businesses.
Well, welcome everybody to this international webinar, Invest in Successful Global American Franchisee. Franchise expansion will come due to the webinar, Invest in American Global Franchisee in Brazil, in business sector as gastronomy, advertising, co-working, among others. This is Guillermo Quintana, CEO and founder of Franchise Expansion, an international global franchising consultant company. We have been helping many brands from different countries to expand their business model through franchises since 50 years ago. In this opportunity, we will have the participation of Manuel Solórzano, RVP of Latin American Director of United Franchisee Group. Hi, Manuel, welcome to this space. Thanks for your presence in this event.
Thank you, Guillermo.
And also we have the participation of Alison Jesus from Brazil, Franchising Expansion Director. Hi, Alison, welcome to this space and thanks also for your presence in this event.
Hello, Guillermo. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Well, first, we will have Manuel presentation about United Franchisee brands and the opportunity investment in Brazil and United States of America. Go ahead, Manuel.
Yes, good night to everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the invitation, Guillermo and Alison. I am the regional vice president of for Latin America of the United Franchise Group. We're a company based in West Palm Beach, Florida, and we've been in the business of franchising for 36 years. We have 8 brands, and I'm going to go over my presentation and explain a little bit of each of them. And basically what we're looking is, investors that would like to bring our brands and franchises to their countries in Latin America as master franchisees. And as you saw the video, basically the master franchisee will operate the first location in that country. And after that will be partnered with us in franchising as many locations as possible in the country, whatever is Brazil, Peru, Argentina, Chile, whatever country it is in Latin America. And I usually like to start with our mission statement, and it's basically that we have one customer who are our franchisees. When they're successful, we're successful. We have over 1,600 franchisees throughout the world. That's 1,600 franchisees in all of our brands. That's our headquarters, located in West Palm Beach. That's our actual building. It's 55,000 square feet. We're more than 300 employees right now. And that's where we do all the training for all our brands and for all of our new franchisees that are coming to our system in any of our brands. Those are actual photos. We have a big conference center where we group all of our franchisees and we teach them how to do the business from A to Z, basically. And in this, slide, you see our ecosystem. We like to call it an ecosystem because, all of our brands can actually work together and, give services to other franchisees. The first brand is Signarama. We have over 700 franchisees now of Signarama throughout the world, mostly in the United States, but we also have franchisees in France, in Australia, and in Mexico. The second brand that we started Signarama in 1986, so it's been 36 years since we opened the first Signarama. Then we created and opened our first fully promoted franchise in the year of 2000, and we have over 300 franchisees for fully promoted. Then we have two brands on the co-working side of the franchise, VentureX and Office Evolution. Between the two of them, we have over 125 franchises open right now throughout the world as well. And in the food industry, gastronomy industry, we have the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill and Grace. And then on the business side, we have Transworld, the biggest franchise of business brokers, over 250 franchisees throughout the world. And then we have Network Lead Exchange, which is our newest franchise. We started out that one about 2 years ago. And it's basically like a club of members where you network and refer, other professionals within the network. Signarama, as I told you, is usually in the top 2 or 3 signographic franchises in the world. Over 700 franchisees at the moment, a strong presence in Australia and Europe. And that's the first brand that we created. We like to have our stores with lobbies where customers will see everything they can do in a Signarama. And we can do, big signs like channel letter signs for buildings, monument buildings, but we can also do vehicle wrapping, and any type of sign that you can imagine, we can do it in our stores. Our stores are not in commercial, all buildings. Our stores, they have storefronts, and we like to have them, in places where people will see them, and where people will see the Signarama sign and say, oh, there's a Signarama, let me do business with them. They're convenient locations for our customers. Our growth, we started out in 1986 with the first store in Farmingdale, New York, and we're estimating that for 2025, we will have over 1,000 franchisees throughout the world. That photo over there is the first Signarama that we opened, and it was opened by our CEO today, Ray Titus, who is in that photo as well. Then I want to talk about Fully Promoted, our second biggest franchise on the retail industry. What we do here is basically branded apparel and promotional products. Everything related for promotion and branding of your business or your personal brand, you can do it here out of a Fully Promoted. Our stores are designed so people can see all the products that you can sell, that you can make to them, but also you usually have a place where you will meet, the franchisee will meet with their clients and explain everything that we can do for them. Because it's not only, making the promotional products, but also we can create strategies on how to brand their products and their services. And you can see here one of our usual stores. You can see everything that we can make and brand for our clients. But at the same time, we have usually in our stores a space like a conference room where you can meet with your clients and help in anything they need in the promotional side. We started out in the year 2000, as I told you, with the first store in West Palm Beach, Florida. and we're expecting, now we have over 300 franchisees, and we're expecting to have about more than 400 franchisees for 2025. Grace is our first franchise in the industry of gastronomy, and it's basically not a restaurant. It's a concept designed to sell and cater charcuterie boards and boxes. It's a small layout. You can start out Grace in a small space of about 800 square feet. That would be about 200 square meters. And basically it's very, I'm hearing someone. Do you have someone has a question? No? All right.
Keep going.
And basically you have a lobby where you take the orders and you dispatch the orders, and then, you know, a small space where you prepare, you know, the charcuterie boards. In this case, it's not a full-size restaurant, so you don't need all the detail that you will need to put on a restaurant. So that's why usually the investment is a lot lower than a regular restaurant. You can see here, you know, how the lobby will look like, very easy and very simple menu. And then, you know, the production area is very simple as well, very clean. You don't have grease, you don't have, you know, you don't have to cook anything actually. You only take the charcuterie and make it in a nice basket or table. Our second gastronomy brand is the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. And this is a full-size restaurant. It's totally different than, you know, to the Grace. The Great Greek is a full Mediterranean restaurant, and you can see it here. This is our location in Vegas. And what you do is, you know, you put your order and you take a number to your table, and, you know, the server will bring you the order to you. We started out in Vegas, and those are the founders of the brand. And then as of right now, we have over 40 restaurants open already in the US, and we have sold 125 restaurants in total. And that's it for the gastronomy part. Then on the co-working side, we have our first brand, Office Evolution, that usually tries to make the co-working space on a smaller layout. The sweet spot would be between 8,000 and 10,000 square feet. That's about 1,000 square meters. We have over 75 locations open in the US, and over 140 sold. And you can see, you know, our locations, how they look like. Basically, you will probably mostly sell private offices, but we have also conference rooms and some co-working space as well. It's a very simple business to run. You can run it with 1 or 2 employees, and the business, and during business hours, your clients will have access to their places, to their small offices with electronic keys. But you only have to be here Monday to Friday from 9 to 5. For people that have, you know, big spaces, like big real estate in bigger cities, that will be a good business to make those spaces more efficient. And then we have VentureX, same line of business, but VentureX works on bigger spaces, and also on bigger cities like downtowns like Sao Paulo or Lima. VentureX is already, you know, in many countries. We have over 50 locations open already, and more than 135 sold in 30 countries. We have already a VentureX in Costa Rica, in Honduras, in Mexico, in Madrid, Spain, and also in the UK, in London. You can see that the feeling is a little bit different. VentureX will be more like a 5-star co-working space, and, you know, everything is more luxury, and also the spaces are bigger usually. that's the difference with, with the Office Evolution, that we sell more, luxury in this case. And then our final two franchises are Transworld, which is the biggest business brokers franchise in the world. It's like the Remax, we like to say it's like the Remax of business brokerage. And you have three main lines of business that you can run out of a Transworld. You can sell businesses and also you can sell franchises. And usually when you buy a Transworld franchise, we can give you with a portfolio of over 400 franchises, American franchises, that you can sell. It's one of the top ranked, usually the top ranked franchise by Entrepreneur magazine in the business brokerage franchises. We have over 40 years of experience. This brand was created here in Florida over 40 years ago. We have sold more than 10,000 businesses, and we have over 700 brokers worldwide. And as I told you, over 250 offices globally. The three main lines of business where you're going to make profit with a Transworld franchises. You're going to do franchise consulting, franchise development, where you're going to be selling those franchises that we give you in our portfolio. And also you're going to be doing business brokerage, which is selling and buying businesses in your territory. And the last one, the last franchise that we have is something that we're very familiar in Latin America, because it's been usually done by Chamber of Commerces and, by clubs. A network lead exchange is that. It's a club that you make with different businesses and different professionals or service providers, and you group them, and you actually, charge a membership, and you can, in that group, refer and cross-refer other, some of your peers. It's a way of growing businesses, a small business, very, sought after here in the US. In the small communities, people, meet in these groups so they can, refer customers and, grow their business when they're starting out. And that's being done as well in most of the countries in Latin America as well. Networking groups, we're going to give you all the know-how and all the support in all of the franchise that I explained, so you can, have the best technology to get your clients and, make them successful and profitable. And that's pretty much my presentation on the brands that we have. We're not brokers. These are brands that are all our property and that we sell, to franchisees in the US or in other countries. So we give all the support and we give all the know-how so our franchisees can be successful with any of these brands. If you have any questions, I can, answer for you at the end or.
Thanks, Manuel, for your presentation and provide us a big picture of all United Franchisee brands as well. Can you provide us information how we can invest in these brands in North America, in United States?
Yes. We're also working with a lot of clients that are coming from Latin America, and they're going to invest here in a franchise, and they're going to work out a visa, an investor's visa. Some of those countries will apply, can apply to a E2 visa, which is very popular. And some others, will have to apply for a EB5 or an L1 visa. We have a program in place with attorneys that can help you achieve, both goals. Buy your franchise and make it profitable, but at the same time, get your visa so you can come to the US as an investor anytime that you want, and you can work here and make sure that your business is profitable. And also you can bring your families if that is the case. The investments and, the amount of investments, we have from $100,000 to more than $1 million. If you want to go and if you want to know, specifics of any of our brands, the best way to do it would be contacting Guillermo, giving all your information, and then calling me, and I'll speak to you on that specific brand, the amount of investment, and how the program with the visa will work. But, in this presentation, that doesn't make sense, because I just want to give you an overview of all of our brands and make sure that you know that we have that program in place where you can invest 100,000, 150,000 or more, and, get your franchise and also get your visa.
Manuel, if you could prepare a summary about all of this information, I think that's a very good opportunity to offer to the people, because I think that's moments for opportunity. Here in Brazil, I believe that there are a lot of entrepreneurs that's looking for new business, new opportunities. And when you say that's possible, you invest in the United States and gain your visa for you and your family, I really believe that could, despite the curiosity of the people, I think that there are a lot of opportunity on that.
Yes, and it's important that people knows that, for example, we have a model in Fully Promoted, the franchise of branded apparel and all material, promotional material and promotional products. We have a model that you can run that on a smaller space, and you will be investing about $100,000, and you can get a visa with that, an E2 visa. And then, of course, on the other side, we have bigger investments. For example, if you want to open a Greek restaurant at the Great Greek restaurant, the investment is going to be, bigger. It's going to be in the range of $600,000. But then you can, get another type of visa if you open 1 or 2 restaurants. You could apply to a EB5, for example. But in any case, we have a program designed to help these investors, buy their franchise with the trajectory that we have of over 36 years in franchising, and also help you get your visa with the attorney and so you can come here and develop your business.
Well, Manuel, thanks again for your excellent presentation. Now is the turn of Alison Jesus to talk about the current Brazil ecosystem franchisee sector. Go ahead, Alison.
I'll share my screen. Just a moment, please. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, keep going.
I have prepared a quick overview regarding the Brazilian franchise industry. I hope that you enjoy. The main subject here is to talk about the United Franchise Group here in South America. I believe that Guillermo and I could support you a lot here. And to start this presentation, I need to inform you that here in Brazil, I think that it's very similar than the United States. We have a specific legislation here. We have a specific legal obligations that we need to reach out here in Brazil, and I put some topics to discuss with you. One of the most important things when you decided to start a business in Brazil in the franchise industry, it's in the law in accordance with the Article 2 for the implementation of the franchise. The franchisor must provide to the franchise the FDD in Portuguese. This it's very important thing that you need to start. You must have here in Brazil. For sure, we have another name here. It's not franchise disclosure document, but this document that we need to send to the franchisee 10 days before they sign the contract must be in Portuguese. And the other important topic here in Brazil, that's all the brands that you decide to make business here, you need to make the trademark here in Brazil. It's very important to have this in mind. The FDD in Portuguese and have the trademark here in Brazil. I believe that we have some critical path to start operation here in Brazil. The first one is the trademark, like I told you before. And why I put this as the first one? Because it's the path that take more time. When you make the protocol here, you make the protocol in a body that's linked to the Brazilian government. You make the protocol every Tuesday. The INPI, that's the body that's take care about the situation. They make a publish in the magazine. And after that, for 60 days, any company that's feel that, for example, we are trying to register Transworld here in Brazil. As soon as the protocol happened, for 60 days, any company here in Brazil can make an opposition request. For example, I think that Transworld is making a illegal copyright here in Brazil, okay? If this happens, we need to make a defense, a legal defense. Sorry?
Keep going.
Keep going, okay, no problem. If this happens, we need to make a defense to moving forward with the brand. The other critical path here, it's the manuals, the language that we will start the training to the franchisee. Because like I told you before, here in Brazil, less than 5% of the population speak English. And I do not have the amounts of the people that speak Spanish, but I do not believe that there are a lot of people speaking Spanish also. I think that we need to define which language we will moving forward here. It's important for United Franchise Group, for sure, we can support you, to have a good legal assistance and to have a very good architect. Because imagine when Venture X come to Brazil and the construction starts, I believe that the workers, the people that work in the Venture X will have a lot of doubts, and for sure, they will need the support from an architect or an engineer. I think that's pretty important to have a partner here in Brazil. Moving forward here, I would like to give you a quick overview regarding the Brazilian franchise industry. Here in Brazil, we have a Brazilian Franchise Association. After this presentation, I would like to share this presentation with you. In this link, the ABF, we have the companies that make partner of this, the biggest company in Brazil, like Cacau Show, like Boticário. I think that's important, for example, when United Franchise Group decided to come to Brazil to associate to ABF, because I think that's kind of something that certificates the quality of the brands. I think that's a very good opportunity to start a partnership with the Brazilian Franchise Association. A little bit about the revenue of the industry. In 2021, we moved 37 billion US dollars here in Brazil. We almost recovered the same level in 2019. We got a decrease in 2020 because the pandemic, for sure. But I do not have the number of 2022, but I think that it was considerable bigger than 2021. Speaking a little bit about segments, we can realize here that the segments that move more money here in Brazil is health, beauty, and wellness. Almost in 2021, almost 80 billion US dollars. Food service, it was a very interesting segment also. And we have fashion that's moved 4.5 billion US dollars in 2021. Moving forward here, a quick overview regarding the Brazilian situation here. In Brazil, we speak Portuguese. Is the only country in South America that speak Portuguese. All the South America speak Spanish. The population is 240 million people, according to the census of 2020. The GDP, it's 1.6 trillion US dollar in 2021. And the GDP in 2021 received an increase of 4.7%. In 2022, we do not have this information until the first quarter of 2023. But as soon as I get this, I will share this information with you. And to finish here, I would like to make a quick consideration why international franchises should start to make business in Brazil. I think that Brazil is the biggest country here in South America, population over than 200 million people here, is the largest economy. We are growing, we are doing pretty well. I think that against all over the world, Brazil in 2022 got a very good increase in GDP. I think for all this reason, I think that Brazil is a very good place to make business. And how many franchise units and how many employees does the industry generate? The Brazilian franchise industry currently generates approximately 10,000 franchise units and more than 1.3 million employees. This number is expected to continue to grow in the future because
Alison, I realize that your presentation is not running. I'm wrong. It's in the same page from the beginning.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm really sorry about that because for me it's moving naturally. You're not seeing my screen now?
No, we are seeing, but it's only in the first page.
Just a moment, please. Just a moment, please, Guillermo. Try to do something different here. Have you seen my screen?
It's charging now. Yeah, now we can see the first page.
Moving?
Yes, now it's moving. Yes.
It's moving just to recover. Don't worry about this. I will share this presentation after that. This slide here is the law here in Brazil. It's in Portuguese. You can use the Google Translate. This is the important topics that we need to discuss to moving forward to start business here in Brazil. The challenge, the critical path is trademark, the language of manuals, the language of the franchise training. The franchise industry here. We have a Brazilian Franchise Association, the ABF. Here in this link, we have all the brands and the international brands that are associated in the ABF. I recommend that as soon as the United Franchise Group starts the operation here in Brazil, I really think that's pretty important to start this association. Here, I showed the evolution of the revenue of the brands, the markets. You can see here that 2021 we moved 37 billion US dollars. I showed also the revenue by segment here. You can take a look, especially in health, beauty, and wellness. That's the segment that moved more money here. And I was finishing speaking a little bit about why it's important to make business, to start operation here in Brazil. It's a huge market. It's the biggest country in South America. And in this last slide, I was showing how many franchising units we have in Brazil, 10,000 units. And this market is moving more than 1.3 million employees. And we really believe that this will keep and keep growing, because like I told you before, the employee like happens in 90s and 80s doesn't happen anymore. I think that the people need to have their own business, and for this reason I really think that we have a huge opportunity to explore here in Brazil. I will stop my Guillermo?
Yes. You're doing a pause in your presentation? You already finished?
Yes, I finished here.
Okay. Well, thanks, Alison, for your excellent presentation as well. Now it's time of questions, participants. If you have any question to Alison or Manuel, this is your time. If your objective is to invest in Brazil or in United States, you can ask a question to Manuel or Alison. We can do this part in Spanish. Podemos hacer esta parte en español. Yo sé que la mayoría que están en la sala hablan español. Pueden hacer la pregunta en español a tanto Manuel como Alison si quieren invertir en una franquicia en Brasil, en cualquier país de Latinoamérica y también obviamente en Estados Unidos.
I have a question to both of you guys who were exposing the presentation.
Yes, go ahead, Gerardo.
Okay. My question is very simple. How can I get clients? Because I don't know, for example, anything about the US market or the Brazilian market. So, well, at the end of the day, it's very easy for you to get the royalties or the initial fee, the entry fee, and there are a lot of costs related, but it's not your responsibility to get clients. So what's the best way for that? Where's the process that you can follow for the investors?
Gerardo, if I understood well, you're asking about what would be our responsibility to the prospects when they pay the franchise fee and the royalties. That of course is going to depend, where you want to start your business or your franchise, if that is the question. I don't know exactly where you are. I cannot see that. But as Alison said, Brazil and the United States, they have very similar laws in regards to franchising. And if you're coming from Latin America to the US to buy a franchise, we have to disclosure and give you all the information about the franchise. How much money, the franchisees are making, what are we making out of royalties and franchise fee, our profit and loss as a company, everything, all of the amounts that you're gonna need to invest besides the franchise fee in order to open your business. So everything is going to be disclosed on that FDD or franchise disclosure document. There are some countries, though in Latin America, that they don't have those laws. And what we do is usually we worked out a investment booklet where we tell you what's going to be your investment and what kind of support we're going to give you so you can develop your master franchise in that country. But in places like Brazil, pretty much we're going to have to give you an FDD as well, pretty similar to the one that we worked out in the US. I don't know if that is exactly the question you were asking. And of course, if you want more detail, because I didn't want to go over details of every franchise, in the US, every brand is different. Every brand is going to cost more or less depending on, how the business model works out, basically.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Peru. For example, in my case, I think that is in general it's kind of difficult to open a business and get clients. So in international markets, in the US or in Brazil or maybe in another country, I think it could be even more difficult to do this kind of things. So that was my main concern about that. Well, not only about that business and to try to make it profitable, but also because of the I don't know, maybe we need to hire lawyers or something like that. A lot of process that involves to open and running a business in our country.
Yes, and it's going to depend on the opportunity. Peru is a big country. I think now it's more than 40 million people, right? And the economy is moving, you know, it's been moving forward. And certainly you're going to have to do an investment, but also we can work out, you know, how much that investment is going to be if you plan to bring a master franchise. But we can estimate what are your profits going to be as well in your country, depending on that population and, you know, and how the economy is going. And you're going to make money not only out of the operations of the single unit that you're going to open first, but then if we sell franchises with you, you're going to be, you know, charging royalties and franchise fee where we're going to share that as partners because you're going to be the master franchise. So usually you see when you see the investment booklet, you see how much you can invest, but at the same time you can preview or you know, estimate how much money you're going to make out of the business. And then you'll decide if you want to buy it or not after that.
Just one consideration, Manuel. Gerardo, if you decide, for example, if you want to buy a brand from United Franchise Group, for example, and if you would like not start your operation in Peru, but here in Brazil, Guillermo and I could support you to start this operation here. For example, you would like to start operation of the Venturi X, not in Peru, but in Brazil. We could support you to start this operation here, Guillermo and I.
Yes.
Okay. Well, my last question is related to the level of risk. As an asset class, the franchises, what's the level of risk in general? Is it similar to maybe the stock market, the real estate, commodities? I don't know. How can you compare that?
We tend to compare it with other type of businesses where you're going to work those businesses, and the level of risk is a little bit lower than if you were going to open a restaurant by yourself. And why is that? Because we're going to give you manuals, and we're going to give you a model that already has been proved by so many franchisees before you. So that's why the level of risk is a little bit, you know, lower. There's still a level of risk. I don't think, you know, as big as the stock market. And I don't see it as low as a real estate. For example, in the US, the real estate business tends to have a low margin, but very secure. I mean, it's not a risky business, real estate. I don't know if in your countries it's the same though. In this case, compare it to if you were going to open, you know, a restaurant by yourself or a signographic company by yourself, of a co-working space by yourself. The level of risk is lower because you're going to be working on a model, on a manual, on a recipe that you have to follow, and that, you know, already sold some of the franchisees, big numbers like in Signorama, or small numbers like in the Great Greek. We already have 40 franchisees, but then you see and you follow the same steps that they did. And you know, with the support of a franchisor like us, that basically are going to give you that support, so you can, you know, be successful as well.
Manuel, you can probably explain them about the training programs from United Franchisee Groups.
Yes, for all of our franchises, we have training programs that last between 3 and 4 weeks, depending on the brand. And 1 week is usually at our headquarters in West Palm Beach here in Florida, where you're going to be taught, we're going to teach you everything that you need to know to run your business. But after that, we usually have 2 more weeks in your location before you open and after you open. So you make sure that, everything is ready and up to date to start the business. But at the same time, after you open, we stay with you and we train you how to, deal with your customers and everything. And then we give you support. That's only the training part, which is just sometimes 3, sometimes it's 4 weeks. But after that, we give you support all the way during the whole length of the contract. If you need, someone from corporate that, that needs to go to your store, for example, to train an employee, we can give you that support. If you need, support in marketing, in finance, every step of every phase of the business that you will need support, we will give it to you as franchisors.
Is there any other question? Aprovechen de hacer preguntas, las pueden hacer en español, no hay problema. Gracias, Gerardo, por la pregunta. Desde Perú, ¿alguien más que quiera hacer una pregunta? Aprovechen que está Manuel desde Miami, Florida, y Alison desde Brasil. ¿Todo claro? Yo sé que la presentación ha estado en inglés, pero pueden hacer cualquier consulta en español aprovechando esta sección de preguntas.
Ahí vi que tú ya pusiste en español en el chat para todos los que necesiten información en español, que se pongan en contacto con Guillermo. Y si quieren algún tipo de información más detallada sobre nuestras franquicias en español, la podemos tener también. Hagan el contacto por intermedio de Guillermo y les enviaremos la información que necesiten también.
¿No? ¿Ninguna otra pregunta? Roberto, Florencia, Mike, ¿tienen alguna consulta, pregunta sobre inversión de franquicias en Brasil, Estados Unidos o cualquier país de Latinoamérica? Ok, entonces vamos cerrando este webinar. Gracias a todos por su asistencia. Gracias, Manuel, por tu presencia desde Miami, Florida. Gracias, Alison, de tu presencia desde Brasil. Y a todos, muchas gracias por estar presentes. Vamos a transmitir este video por las redes en YouTube y vamos a tratar de traducirlo también a español. Muchas gracias. Buenas noches, que descansen.
Gracias. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Gracias.